ultimately the best job is the one you never did, right? Like there's a very old saying and it's very true. And if you are just, again, taking anybody and everybody and letting people into your company, into your workflow that you know are going to be a headache, that have probably already kind of showing the signs that they're going to be a pain in the butt to deal with, that are questioning your pricing, that are questioning your, like all these things, and like it's your fault.
Until right now, this very moment, contractors have always been on their own, not as tradespeople, but being alone and knowing how to take their business to the next level. They call us working class, they call us blue collar. They say that we don't have the smarts to become the business owner that we're meant to be. That is such bullshit. You have the ability. You're more than any of that. The question really is, where do you get the insights that you need specific to contracting to systemize your business so you can get your profits to pay for your freedom? I'm Andrew Houston. I'm going to show you how to make more profits, how to get more control, how to get more freedom in the simplest, quickest way possible without any of that bullshit. Welcome to the No Bullshit Podcast for Contractors. Listen up, level up, and if you learn something, like the video, subscribe to the channel, change your business, change your life. All right, everybody, welcome to another No Bullshit Podcast for Contractors. We are going to kick some serious ass here today, but let's see if this is the right place for you or the wrong place for you. If you're looking to get more leads, if you're looking to land more jobs, by the way, the right jobs, more profitable jobs, and actually have your sales process not just get your profitable work that feed the way you do the work to make it profitable, then you're at the right place. If you're not a contractor or an owner of a contracting business, maybe jump off this, get onto a different podcast. But again, if you're looking to get more sales, more profits, today is the day. As a matter of fact, this is going to be a 3-part series. You'll understand why that is, because there's lots of pieces to building the sales process. Without further ado, though, let me introduce to you my man of the hour, my rock star, my master almost of sales. And I say almost because all of us are working towards mastery all the time. Liam, my man. Morin. How's it going, brother?
You're a Batman, maybe.
Well, that's right. You got it. So, bro, you've been part of this family, man, for quite a while of for Contractors. Tell us about your role, and then we can get into why this is a 3-part series, what the 3 parts are, and then we can kick ass on part number 1.
Yeah, I think it's almost 3 years now. This April coming up that I started working with you and Steph, and that was it. Just when I started, there's the 3 of us, 3 amigos, and now it's a much bigger team. And yeah, if you're listening to this podcast and you've seen a guest on this podcast, or were a guest on this podcast, you probably talked to me at some point to start your journey with PFC. And again, you guys may have seen me on the webinars, the Instagram lives, the Facebook lives, the training and the group. And basically, I help everybody here at PFC with all things, let's just say, new client onboarding, sales, growth. I wear a few other hats, coaching, marketing, but mainly focus around helping PFC grow and growing the right way, right? Bringing on the right people. We're going to talk about this today, right? Right types of clients, and helping the team, for the coaching department, in growing that and getting our members fabulous results, because that's what we're here to do with you guys every day, every week, every year. And most importantly, now, trying to transition, obviously, into the number 1 coaching company for contractors in the world, right? We're going to have to scale our team, and I'm going to talk to you guys about that today. And yeah, we're here to world domination, right? So that's what we'll talk about as well, and how you guys can put that into your business. It's all
about kicking ass, right? It's all about getting results. Now, you might be listening in on this. I think we're like a minute in, 2 minutes in, and you're like, I'm interested in getting more sales. I'm interested in becoming more profitable. Like, Andrew, does this guy really have the authority, to talk about sales? Like, is this the guy that's going to give me the right insights? Well, I'm going to tell all you fuckers that he is, and I'll tell you why. So, Liam, let's not get into exact details, but you've helped this company in the last few years more than double its sales. Would that be true?
I think, since I started, 10x.
Yeah.
Roughly.
So,
for revenue.
So everybody listening in, that's results. Okay? So we're going to talk about some of the strategies that have allowed that to happen. So, if there's a person on this podcast for you guys to listen to the advice that actually has generated results, it's Liam. Okay, now we just touched on Prop for Contractors. Let's talk about contracting. I mean, do you have any experience in the background of being a contractor? Or are you just some sales guy, selling, ice to Eskimos?
Yeah, so I started my first contracting business right when I was still in college, right out of college. And I came out of that actually doing door-to-door sales for the largest landscaping company in Canada, Spring Masters Canada, which I think they're on like their 4th different name now. But anyways, that's kind of where I cut my teeth in sales, doing door-to-door. So we were selling door-to-door lawn aeration, which if you've never done it is a very shitty job.
It's the hardest goddamn sales you can do, guys, knocking on doors.
But not only have to go sell the work, we had to go do the work. So we'd sell the job, and then we'd have to aerate the lawn and lug these. If you guys ever used a lawn aerator, it's this big heavy thing, and you had to lug it around in suburbia in the summer in like 1,000,000-degree weather, right? And we were working like 16-hour days, 100% commission. But it was awesome, and I learned like a lot of invaluable sales skills there with a really great mentor, a guy there named Ben, and he taught us all about persistence, overcoming objections, just again all these things we'll talk about today, guys. And then from there, used those tactics when I started my own business with my buddy, and we did exterior carpentry, and we started with the door-to-door model, and then moved into obviously the things we're going to talk about.
So your own contracting business, right?
Yeah. And we basically bootstrapped it, right? And just did it all ourselves, and then had a sales team doing door-to-door. But I did, a lot of the sales for that company for really the most part of it. And yeah, all those things that I learned there I brought to PFC, and you guys can use all these skills yourselves. It all works.
All right, we are back. Had a little glitch. I mean, hey, man, like I say, whenever we have these tech problems, welcome to the world of fucking business, right? You get curveballs all the time. So you just have to adapt, move forward, and make it happen, right? Yeah. So what I was saying was we're just highlighting, why you guys need to be listening to Liam. So if that resonates with you, you stick in, and we're going to give you some serious gold that he's going to share that not only got results for his contracting business, for the clients that we've got, but for profitable contractors. Like, this is stuff that really works. But before I go any further, let me just share with you how we're going to break this baby down, okay? So I'm going to go over here, going to share my window. If you guys are driving in the car, you can't see this, it's no problem. You'll still be able to follow. But if you're able to see the video later on, like I say all the time, putting a visual aspect to your learning amplifies your learning, because it's one of the senses that we need to leverage, right? So here we go. So there's 3 parts to this. Liam, can you see my screen?
Yeah, man, we're good.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to do a little Venn diagram, everybody.
Ah, nice.
Okay, Venny. So let's see if I can get this sucker working. Okay, so there's 3 parts, right? I'll start off. Liam, you can finish it. Okay. There's lead flow. What's the next one, bro?
Deal flow.
Yeah. And then there's workflow, right? Yep. So today's podcast is part 1 of a 3-part series. Part 1, we are going to talk about this baby right here, which is all about lead flow, okay? That's what we're going to talk about, all right? And then we're going to segue into part 2, which will be another podcast on deal flow, and then we'll segue into workflow, okay? And by the way, this is a specific process. We'll highlight it really quickly. Why are we going in this order? I'll let Liam explain, and then we can get into the nuts and bolts of specific strategies to help you with lead flow, and let's rock and roll from there. So, Liam, tell us a little bit about this flow, right? Or the flow from one to another. Why is it in this order? Why is it important to know the order? And then we'll get into more specifics around lead flow.
Yeah, the number one reason why, just like we would do this with, like, let's say maybe your job sites or hiring or anything, guys, or your cash flow, is like when we look at something like sales, right? That's a broad topic, right? Or marketing, whatever it is. And if we don't break it down into the component parts and then in the order in which they occur, right? We might work on something and get a result, which is great. But if we're working at it out of order, or we're working at it in the wrong order, right, we might get a bad result or an inconsistent result. And what we want to do, again, is make sure that we're setting up a system for success so that we're dealing with these issues, again, at the root level, not at the symptom, right, which we talk about a lot, guys, but also so that we're making sure that we're tracking everything. This is really important, right? And this is why we're starting at lead flow. From the second you get contacted, right, to the second you get paid by the customer, there's a lot of stuff that happens in that whole journey, okay? Now, it could be a referral, it could be an inbound lead, could be, a million ways you tell people. But if we're not tracking these things in the right order, okay, then probably we're going to get, again, an inconsistent result. And if we ever do want to systemize it, right, we're going to need to actually have a process and track it down and know in which order it occurs. And lastly, there are things that you're doing right now in your business, in your contracting business with sales, where there's things maybe that are happening or not happening, let's say, at each of these points or in between, that's causing a drop off, right? That's losing you profit, costing you time. And if we can plug those gaps, then we can do, like we say, more with less, and we don't have to worry about getting tons and tons and tons of leads, right? This is the common thing we see. Like, I need more leads, right? I don't have enough leads, or I want better leads. It's like, well, what do we actually really need to do is we need to break it down and see, hey, do you need more leads, or do you need to close more of the leads, or do you need to actually finish more of the jobs that you're on so you have time to go sell more leads? And if we're not looking at it holistically, guys, just like we do with our whole model, right, with the Genius model, then again, you're not going to get the result you want consistently and predictably.
I love that. I net. So, you got to make sure you guys see things in an orderly fashion. You got to break things down so you actually see that there's a process to this. Okay. You got to look at this so that if you don't look at it in that way, you're never going to be able to track it. If you do look at it the right way, you're going to have a much better to track it because you know the order of it. And you're going to be able to create systems out of it. And really what we're looking at, team, is one of the greatest challenges that you guys have is you focus too much on the symptoms. And if you don't break this down, that's why you'll notice at Profit Contractors, one of the things that we have always worked towards, and a lot of people will say that we've mastered it. I don't really like saying I've mastered anything or Liam's mastered anything. We're working towards mastery. That means we're always looking at becoming the best of what we can become. And one thing for certain is that you got to get away from the symptoms and focus in on what is the true problems. And if you don't have somebody, if you don't have somebody to help you with sharing with you this model, like breaking it down into these different components, then you're never going to be able to solve your problem because you don't know where to start and you don't really know where the fucking problems are, right?
Totally. And you could just be working for months or years, right? Trying to fix this problem, and you're just, again, you're hacking away at the symptom, right? It's just like, it's not going to work.
So today we are focusing in on this baby right here. Okay. Lead flow. Okay. So let's get into the lead flow side of it. Okay. So, I mean, again, this is part one. We're going to focus in on lead flow. So this allows you guys to basically audit your sales process, audit, where are the true problems as far as where to start. This isn't the end all the be all podcast. No. Like I said, this is no bullshit, but at least it's going to give you an idea of where to start, how to look at your sales differently. And so here we go. So Liam, what would you say is one of the most important things when it comes to lead flow? Like where do we start regarding lead flow?
I think the biggest thing for most contractors, especially right now, because we're in like a boom market and we've been in a boom market for a while, and again, most of what we talk to are crazy busy, they're in demand and there's tons of work coming in, and things are going to explode soon in the summer, is just what we could just call maybe urgency and tracking. So for a lot of us, if we are busy or we have consistent lead flow, we need to apply just a small sense of urgency to that. And what I mean by that is, if you're getting leads consistently, and it could be you're doing paid ads, it could be you're doing organic, it could be you're part of, a franchise, could be referrals, could be, strategic alliances, whatever it is. If you're not attacking those leads urgently, like with speed, right, you're going to lose some deals or a lot of deals. And even though you as the owner, if you're doing your sales still, maybe you have an estimator, and you might say, hey, listen, I'm really busy, I don't have time to do this. You need to really stress the urgency with yourself and your team, because again, every day that you don't get back to that customer who emailed you, right, or the longer you take to get them back their quote or do the follow-up appointment, right, there's just more time they're going to either not buy from you or buy from somebody else. And sometimes we get in the mindset as contractors is like, hey, I'm super busy, and if these people want me, look, they can wait, right? Or I already got tons of work, so I don't really have to worry about getting back to these people, but they might not be there in 2 months, they might not be there in a week, right? And I'd rather you guys book your work and fill your calendar now with profitable work than have to always scramble, right? Or stress about getting jobs. So speed and urgency, right? That's very important. And then before that, I think we could just do some basic tracking, right? So again, where are leads coming from? What sources? Is it the right type of customer, the right type of work? And are we maybe spending money and generating a lot of leads that we don't actually need or want? Or are we, again, talking to the right people? Or are we always talking to the decision maker? Whatever it is. But we need to just get some basic tracking. This can be whiteboards, it can be a million things, but just some kind of basic way to make sure that we're talking to the right people and we're just being consistent with them. Yeah.
So let's look at one of the problems here. One of the problems that people talk about. So we can associate, guys, sort of the the solution to the problem is, you talked about the right leads. Like, let's just look at that for a second, right? Like, if we look at the right leads, really, the right leads has to do with making sure that you've got the right target audience, right? That's responding, right? So, if
and how you're presenting yourself to the world, right? That's important,
Right. So like number one, right, is making sure that who is your, people might hear this a lot, right? Your avatar. So when we say avatar, exactly? Elaborate on that.
So listen, as contractors, probably one of the biggest things that can hurt us is, let's say, trying to be all things to all people, right? And how many of you guys have seen, the contractor who's got a lawn sign or the truck, and it says like all types of work they do, and they list like 50 things, right? It's like decks, fences, electrical, plumbing, like, foundation work. It's like everything, right? You're very difficult to be successful like that. You're spread too thin. You're not focused, right? Generally, people who make really good money, who are really good at sales, they're niching, they're focusing on like maybe 2 to 5 types of customers. And what we mean by that is, if you're presenting that to the world, saying, hey, we help these types of customers, this is the kind of work that we do and specialize in, then you're going to attract back, right? Like attract like those types of customers. And we have to define what is our ideal customer. Yeah. So if we're, let's say, a general contractor, and our ideal customer is, residential homeowners who have a fair amount of money, who want to do, kitchen and bathroom projects between, let's say, like 50, 200,000 and, those kind of work, then that's who we need to attract and market to. That's who we want to speak to, and that's who we have to, like, in terms of our marketing, push, right? If you're just saying, hey, we work with everybody, we can help anybody, well, then you're going to get everybody and anybody, right? Coming through your door, coming through your funnel, and that just is going to gum up your funnel.
Totally. So everybody listening in, it's okay to have multiple services. Like, we recommend it at Profit for Contractors, right? We don't recommend that you have 1,000 services, but let's look at this COVID situation. Hopefully you're looking at the situation that's going to make you stronger, right? If you're not, there's already a problem right there, okay? Yeah. But if you're looking at this as leveraging, this as an opportunity to make your business better, to dominate your market, to differentiate yourself, you want to make sure that you've got multiple services, and you want to have services that are needed, otherwise known as essential services. You want to have, maybe you want to, which that could be service-based. You could have repair, and then you want to have maybe projects, different sizes of projects, for lots of reasons. One is cash flow. One is that, you're going to always have an opportunity to get work, okay? Because one of those aspects of your avatar or your those clients are people that essentially need your services, right? So, and if you don't identify your avatar, I can't stress this enough. Everything from here on in, you're going to be in trouble, okay? If you're not, I mean, like, if you've got 2 different avatars, say service and project, you want to, which feeds tracking, you don't want to put them all in the same bucket of tracking, do you, Liam?
No, because then you're not going to get the right data. Yeah. And again, you might have one type of customer, like residential homeowner, but to that customer, you could sell service or repair work or install work, right? That's fine, right? So you could have 3 types of services you offer to this one demographic or ideal customer, right? But you want to track those differently. And often one of those could be the gateway into the larger project with that customer, right? So
totally.
And again, like, we don't need a lot. It's like, again, usually like 2 to 3, maybe 5 max kind of types of services or work, and maybe a few kind of demographics. And also things like geography, right? Like, how far do you want to travel, right? How far are you willing to travel? Are they, the actual decision maker? Like, is it, apartment building, property management? Is it, right? Is it, you're dealing with the right person? Like, all these things that come out of that target audience question, right? Do they have the budget, right? Are they, renters? Are they home? Like, again, all these things that are going to come in to define that target audience is super important. And once you do that, then what's going to happen is you're going to spend less time, right, driving around doing quotes to the wrong people, or people that you really don't want to work with in the first place.
Yeah, how many people have we talked to, like Joe, right?
It's everybody. It's sick.
Yeah, it's everybody, right? Where you guys,
it's a plague.
Yeah, you spend night and day doing fucking quotes, and you realize that you've spent so much time on people that are just price shoppers, right? They're not your avatar. They're not people that are serious about, giving you business. They're just using you to get a price out of you. If you don't if you don't identify the right questions to make sure that you're dealing with the right avatar, then you're going to be tracking leads right over here that are the wrong leads. You're going to be, trying to quickly get quotes out to the wrong people. Like, guys, this is why this flow is so important. And really, one of the things you're not going to be able to do is you're not going to be able to, what is it, Liam?
Filter fast.
Yeah, baby. Which is absolutely crucial. Notice if you can't put these in any different order. You can't filter fast, guys, if you don't know your avatar, and you can't properly track your leads, and you can't properly respond to people, right? Because if you don't identify your avatar, who you're going after, that's the very first place to start. So let's talk about tracking, okay? So, and guys, again, if you want any more insight on this, if you're not part of the Contractor Tips group, then I would suggest that you join that group. I'm sure my team will put a link down below on how to get access to that.
It's everywhere, guys. It's on all our stuff, right?
Totally. So let's talk about tracking. So what are some of the things that Liam, you would suggest that they track?
How they heard about you, right? So, really simple question you can ask anybody when they contact you, right? He's like, how'd you hear about us, right? Oh, referral, saw your lawn sign, I saw your Facebook page, I saw your ad, you guys were on XYZ listing sites, whatever it is, right? Saw maybe saw a video of yours, whatever it is, ask where they found out about you, right? And start tracking that. Very, very important. It's like the referral source or lead source.
Why is it important?
Well, it's really important for two reasons. One, if we're spending money on paid advertising, right, we want to figure out what channels are generally getting the best leads. And number two, we want to know which leads are generally going to convert better at a higher rate, right, and at a higher price. Because what you're going to find, and this is true for every business, true for our business, everybody, is that certain types of leads generally will convert better or easier and generally give you more money, right? Usually people who've either bought from you before or who know someone that you're working with.
Totally. Guys, super, super important. Little, let's put it to the test. And you guys are going to be like, it's so obvious, Andrew, that Liam's answered this correctly, or I hope he does, is that if you're not tracking this shit, then as obvious as it is, you're going to get what I call the ignorance tax on this one, okay? If you're not tracking this shit, if you don't have a whiteboard, or if you don't have some means of sorting your leads, you got a problem. So here's the question. Hey, Liam, if somebody gives you a referral versus you getting, say, a lead from social media or some other place, what would be the conversion rate roughly of one versus the other?
I mean, it's hard to say exactly, but definitely it would probably be higher for the referral, right? Because they have social proof and they already kind of know, and we call it social proof, right? They know that you're vetted, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So guys, if you've got a board, imagine you've got 10 leads, it's not going to be this case, but let's just use it as an example. You got 10 leads that are from referral, right? You got 10 leads that are just coming from the internet. Being able to look at that allows you to make better decisions on which ones you need to focus on first. Would you say that's correct, Liam?
Yeah, totally. Funny story on this. Some guy emailed us, I think like last week or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. And he's like, yeah, my lawyer said I should work with you guys. And we're like, who's your lawyer? It's some guy that Andrew coached like 10 years ago in Ottawa. I forget his name, but he's like, my lawyer is helping my contracts. He said, hey, you got to go talk to this Profit for Contractors guys. Got to talk to Andrew. And I forget his name. I'll get it for you, Andrew. But yeah, some guy in Ottawa used to coach, right?
In Rockland.
Yeah, and then, so like that's again, referrals might last even that long potentially, right?
That's awesome, dude.
Crazy, eh? Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Back in the day when I was coaching anybody, right? And I had the same problem, by the way, guys.
Andrew, did you coach anybody and everybody at one point?
Holy fuck, man. It was crazy, right? So think about it, right? Like think about the systems Profit for Contractors has today, which is like complete game changer for contractors. How much effort would I have had to put in to create the right systems, the right process, the right procedure, and not just me, Liam and the whole team. Okay, Liam, now you got to do this for lawyers. Oh, now you got to do it for accountants. Now you got to do it for contractors. Now you got to do like what the.
And listen, there's some stuff that's fun, like I guess we say like fundamental across all those businesses. But yes, it'd be very difficult, right?
It's absolutely, dude. Especially in social media, you cannot be talking the language like we serve any business. Yeah. Okay, that's sorry, dude. You don't have much credibility when the competition is going. I serve this audience, which is contractors, right? Okay. Yeah. Exactly. So back to tracking allows for speed, everybody. That's right, because it allows you to be able to respond
we'll separate the wheat from the chaff too, right? Like,
Right.
you have a bunch of leads. Let's prioritize and quickly get back to the people who, we know are most likely to buy from us, who we like to work with, right? So again, we're using our time efficiently, right? We're defaulting our time on people who are going to give us a return on our investment, right?
So efficiency, right? Okay, which allows us to do what, Liam? How important is it that we filter fast, dude? Holy fuck!
It's actually, hold on, I'm gonna this is just hilarious because I'm gonna literally send Andrew something right now that we got from a guy like literally this morning. It's just like, this is just the power of fate, maybe. I don't know what you want to call it, but we got this message from a guy this morning. Andrew, I'll send it to you. You can pull it up. Runs a small HVAC company. He started on one of our intro programs, and I guess he started working through like the sales modules and the filter fast, and I'll send it to you. You can pull it up. But like, this is probably the biggest. Like, if you look at your entire sales process, like, everything is important up to this point, and then everything is important after this point. But this is the break in the dam, right? Where most contractors either control the flow and the chaos, or they lose it, right?
I love it. By the way, what you just said is so key. They either control the flow of the chaos, or they what?
They let the dam open, and you're just you're drowning, right?
Exactly. Okay. And by the way, everybody, if you're not already busy right now, like the sun is shining, the snow is melting here where I'm at. If you're busy now, it's going to get absolutely crazy busy for you every week, every day, every month between now and the end of the year, right? So totally. Where did you send it, Liam?
I sent you on Facebook there. Like guys, okay. This is not staged. Like, literally just got this message.
Okay, cool. I'll try and pull that baby up.
And this guy's an active member in our tips group, so you guys should join that. Really good guy. But yeah, again, it doesn't matter what kind of work you do, guys. At the end of the day, right, like I said, you can't be all things to all people. And nothing will probably sink your business faster, aside from maybe like a really bad team member, than a really bad customer, right? Maybe someone who doesn't pay you, someone who ruins your reputation, someone who you just take a huge loss on because they make you drop their price. Like, whatever it is, like nothing will really devastate your business faster than a Class D customer, okay? So if we let them into our and again, we could lose team members over it. We could lose, so there's a million things that it can do to us negatively. So we have to filter them out. And again, you might be saying, well, I can't afford to lose jobs, or I don't have enough customers as it is. Ultimately, the best job is the one you never did, right? Like, there's a very old saying, and it's very true. And if you are just, again, taking anybody and everybody and letting people into your company, into your workflow that are going to be a headache, that have probably already kind of showing the signs that they're going to be a pain in the butt deal, that are questioning your pricing, that are questioning your, like, all these things, and like, it's your fault. You're good. Like, no one's to blame but you. And we actually just had someone post in one of our coaching groups about this. They took a cash job, and they knew they shouldn't have done it. They knew all the warning signs were there, right? But they said, you know what? It'd be nice to have some cash out of the pocket, right? Totally went sideways. 1-star Google review. Team's pissed off. I don't even want to imagine the hours and the stress, right, of dealing with it. And was it worth it? Probably not, right?
Interesting, man. Give a little example as I'm trying to pull this up. Give a little example of like what a Class D client can do to a contractor.
It can literally just turn you into, like, you could be going like in such a good direction with your business, and it can literally just like completely crash you off your course, right? Like, it's literally that bad. I think the biggest thing, like for most of us, is that it's around money, right? If we do a job and we don't get paid on it, or we have to drop our price so much that we're losing money on it, then it doesn't really matter. Everything else is kind of a moot point, right? So that's the biggest risk with Class D. It's just the money thing, right? We're putting out money for labor and materials, right, and time, and this is time when we can be doing other work that is profitable, and all of a sudden we're filling it with this Class D client. Now there's a million things, or there's reputation, all these other things, but none of that's going to sink you as quickly as not getting paid in a job, right? That'll, especially if you're trying to grow your business and maybe you're kind of still in startup survival mode and cash flow is not 100%, right? It only takes a little tiny, crack in the windshield, right, with your cash flow to really screw you over.
Totally, guys. So and we don't really realize the impact until we start asking ourselves, where's all my money? Where's all my cash? I've brought this up literally a dozen times on this podcast, which I can't stop doing. But think about this. If you're lucky enough to be making 10% net profit and you go lose because a couple of Class D clients, 10 grand, everybody, I'm not going to get crazy into math, but it's really simple math, right? You'd have to get $100,000 in new business just to pay for the 10 grand that you lost on the Class D client or a handful of Class D clients. And you got to do all that work for nothing,
And the time you don't get.
And the
get
time.
back.
Right, exactly. So, Morin, I can't seem to get in, good old me and technology, but so just read out what you got.
Yeah,
there.
so he said, hey bro, sorry to bother you on the weekend, but I have to tell you that, studying the course, this is the accelerator course, implementing changes, listening to you guys, your team, Liam, Jay, Rick, the podcast, and the people on these podcasts have been a game changer in my HVAC business. The phone rings, I hit him with the vetting script, this is the filter fast script, right, that I systemized because of you guys, and almost immediately, in capital, right, it weeds them out. I am focused, thanks man, and I love you guys over at PFC. Now, that might sound like us just bragging and pumping ourselves up, right, but this was a guy that I remember, when he, I remember seeing, I think his original email, him saying like, hey man, like I'm doing HVAC and I'm doing service calls and I'm super busy, but I'm not making any money, right, and I'm, super stressed out. It's just really simple. He was just doing, again, too many things, all things to all people, and not filtering fast and not charging enough. And all of a sudden charges more, gets some systems in place, works with less people, filters them better. Magically, way less stress, way more money. Isn't that weird?
Guys, seriously, okay? So
it's a one-man band, guys. Like, he's by himself. He doesn't have a team, right? Like this,
yeah.
I know, like this is just a solo owner-operator HVAC guy, right?
Yeah. And here's the thing. As you grow your business, the positive effect is amplified. As you grow your business, the negative effect is fucking more than amplified. Okay, it's like the positive effect. Honestly, it's just the way life is. I'm just pulling this out of my ass, but I'd say it's about a 2x. Let's just say it's 2x. The negative effect is like 6x. It's like the world's like, I'm going to hit you so fucking hard, like yeah. Oh my god, I got no cash, I'm chasing these people, they're pain in the ass to work with, oh my god, this is ridiculous, I'm working night and day doing quotes, and it's like, did you listen to the podcast and follow these first 4 steps? No, I don't have time for that. What, you don't have? Oh, okay, dude. Actually, you do have time. You're going to make up the time with all the shoveling shit stuff.
And guys, all these things cost, all of the things here, they cost $0. It costs nothing. It doesn't cost your business anything to do any of this.
Interesting, right?
But the cost of not doing it is extremely high.
Right, exactly. So, you talked about, filter fast, okay? We talked about, the importance of tracking your leads and making sure you got conversion rate, making sure we follow up with the right level of speed. We talked about, making sure we identify our avatar, i.e. our target audience, our audiences, to make sure that we're, we know that we're working with the right people, and it allows us to engage and track the people that are going to pay us money and make us profits, and that we want to work with, right? Now, let's talk a little bit about just maybe a couple other tips here. Let's talk about on the, say on the social, is there anything else you'd add to the process as far as lead flow, Liam?
I don't want to get too in the weeds, right?
Yep.
But for a lot of us, like, spending money on advertising is not really an option yet. Because again, usually you have to get a lot of consistent profit to be able to reinvest that, right, in paid marketing. And again, most people, they jump the gun on it. Like, I can't even tell you guys the amount of people that I talk to, and they're like, yeah, I'm spending like 3, 4, 5K a month on advertising, and they're not making any profit. It's just like, what? Like, why are you doing that? That's not logical, right? You're spending money to generate work that you can't even manage or do or be, like, quote, profitably. Yeah. Right? Like, it's literally the opposite way you should do things. So the easiest way is just through what we can call, like, organic strategies, right? Like, very low cost marketing. And a lot of this stuff, right, is just tried and true, right? Like we talked about, lawn signs, door knockers, actually knocking doors, asking for referral, making sure that your guys have shirts with your, like, logo on them, your trucks branded, like, simple stuff, right? Don't have to go super fancy. And then now social media, we just did a training on it in the CEO group, and I'm going to be bringing in some clients who are doing it both for hiring and for like actual lead gen for sales. With Facebook and Instagram, there's now the ability really to what we can do called, like, hyperlocal organic marketing, which is where we can just promote the crap out of our brand within Facebook and within community groups in Facebook, and really actually generate a fair amount of business or hire people, like, really for nothing or very, very little. Okay. And this is probably the way it's going to go and trend harder, because Facebook's just getting more and more expensive, and it's harder to get visibility. And ultimately, like we talked about, right, if you've honed in on your avatar, you know who they are, where they are, what kind of work you want to do for them, all that kind of stuff, like, the odds are they're pretty local, right? Like, they're going to be, same with someone you hire. You're probably not going to hire someone from 4 hours away, right? Like, you're going to hire hyperlocal, and this is the new strategy that we're seeing. And we have one member who we're going to bring in, and I think, just through doing kind of the methods that I taught her on these organic strategies and commenting in Facebook groups, she already has, I think, 3 or 4 deals lined up. And then another guy, and again, guys, this is something we'll talk on later, but hiring and marketing, like for leads or for people, basically the same thing. Used the strategy and got a guy and he does complicated work. He does, high level metal roofing. He got a guy within 3 days, like qualified, hired within 3 days, cost him $0. And again, these are the things that, we have to start embracing and doing, and then we can track the ROI. And again, if it costs nothing, it's all ROI, right? Lawn signs, that's pretty low ROI or pretty low cost, so high ROI. But again, we have to be doing kind of, again, the main things consistently. And all this boils down to, guys, at the end of the day, I think Andrew will agree, is that it's about consistency with most of this stuff, right? Don't have to be the best at it. Don't have to be a master. Don't have to do it 20 hours a day. But, if you put in the time, 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, right, to do this stuff, you'll get the results. You just got to do the work and follow the process. And again, not be afraid to, like, a lot of people will throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, I've been doing Facebook posts for 5 days and I haven't gotten anything. It's like, okay, well, you got to be patient. You got to be consistent, right? You're probably going to be in business for another 10, 15 years, right? Well, you're going to be doing it for 10, 15 years every day. So stay consistent.
I love, Liam, we're going to start wrapping this one up, and then we'll get into part 2 later on. But look at this, guys. I want you to really get this to stick, okay? Like goddamn crazy glue here.
But Andrew, it's important though, on the avatar, like with the hyperlocal stuff, like because of Corona and what's happened, guys, and because of the changes in social media, like your ideal customer, guys, they are living online in these community groups and like in these little spheres on social media, and like basically it's like the fish pond, right? It's crazy. So I'll give you the example. So this lady in our Champion CEO coaching group, she basically does really high-end bespoke kitchen and bathrooms, right? And her tagline is, we help homeowners design and build their dream kitchen, right?
Yeah, it's
pretty specific, right? Mm-hmm. And where is she finding her customers? Andrew, do you have any idea? I don't know if I told you. Where is she finding these customers?
No, go for it.
So she's been posting in like mom groups.
Oh my God.
On Facebook, right? So if you're a mom on maternity leave,
oh my God,
you're in a high net worth household, your husband is at work making lots of money, you have all this time all day to look at the kitchen and plan design, right? And listen, I'm not trying to say anything, but Andrew, do a lot of women like to do design Pinterest board stuff in their spare time? Maybe, I don't know. So she's been going and mining.
Jen does.
Yeah. I think Natalia has.
I'm not shitting you guys.
5,000 Pinterest.
Hold on, guys. I mean, seriously, okay. And God, listen. Maybe not all women are like this. Like seriously, I love Jennifer. Like I love my wife to death. I have in my truck a quilt. Okay, that I'm supposed to be leaving here, later on today after I take my son to his haircut and all the rest. I'm going up to this farm that we bought. And long story short, Jen's like, okay, put the pillow on the couch. Send me a picture. I'm like, she just loves it, man. I love that she loves it, but I'm like more into like, okay, like let's set up a hunting stand or some damn thing, right?
Let's do some stuff, yeah. But she's posting in mom's groups, right? Like, and she's mining leads because that's where is her ideal customer? Who is it? Where are they? Right? And then her husband is posting in the dad groups.
Oh my God.
Right?
It's so
guys,
good.
It costs nothing. Right? This is the thing.
It's so good.
Yeah, and again,
well, it does. It costs time.
Sure. But, yes, but like, there's no lead generation costs, really, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we're gonna have her on, correct? You're gonna be bringing her in on.
Yeah, we're gonna be
following podcast
on closing some of these deals, and then we're gonna kind of break it all down, ideally. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so I want everybody to understand this. So, and we're gonna continue this theme, right? So we talked about, just sort of wrapping up. We talked about the 3 phases. There's lead flow, there's deal flow, and there's workflow. Today we talked about lead flow. We talked about the flow process, some of the key things. And by the way, I'm going to be straight up with you. This isn't every single step. We have a whole process step by step for contractors, but we're not going to have an 18-hour freaking podcast here. I want to give you guys the stuff that you need, that you can apply now, not give you stuff that's going to drown you, okay? These are the basics. You got to learn the basics. But one of the biggest things, Liam, that you brought to today that, I mean, along with all this awesome stuff, is this right here. This is fucking huge. Understand, everybody, that when we're talking about lead flow, it's the same thing for getting clients as the same thing for getting employees. And really what this all wraps into is that, look at what we're trying to build is we are trying to build a successful, profitable sales system.
Okay? Marketing engine, yeah.
You got it, an engine. So that, guess what? It's not just going to be on your shoulder, so that when you hand this over, you can have your admin person filtering fast. You can have your admin person knowing, who to respond to and who not to. You can have your admin person doing a ton of this work. You can then be able to hand over the right leads to the right team member so that you're not doing all the freaking quotes, doing this night and day, and that anybody that touches this stuff in your company regarding lead flow is only touching the leads that are the right leads, not the goddamn leads that are filled with worms like a rotten fish, okay? So any last points on this, Liam, before we get into part 2?
No, we covered a lot. I don't want to overload people, right? Again, guys,
I think, guys, exactly. All right. So start at the beginning, okay? Don't start, I want to start here. Don't start where you'd like to start. Start where you need to start, which is at the beginning, okay? Right. All right, dude, I will catch you on the flip, and we'll get into part 2 later on. So, guys, enjoy this. Apply it. Use it. Okay? Abuse it in the right way. And we'll be talking to you guys about the next stage, which is deal flow. You got these leads. How the hell did we land these people? All right.
100%.
So catch you guys on the flip side. Cool.
See you guys.
Liam?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, ciao. Hey, Rockstar, I hope that you enjoyed that one. I mean, if you did like this podcast, leave a review, leave a comment. This will help us a lot to keep you bringing the gold, allowing you to delegate, dominate, and deliver so you can take your contracting business to the next level. Now, make sure you subscribe, get the latest teachings and insights, and we will see you back here for another No Bullshit podcast. No, seriously, no bullshit.